It'll take a minute.
Okay.
Oh, maybe it is actually
Overall.
started. It'll take a minute.
Maybe. Okay.
All right, it sounds like we have sound, so that's good. Okay.
Yay, sound.
I have to enter Middle Earth here. I figured since, you know, Arwen, Eowyn, this is Heidi Wyn.
There you go.
So this is me, HL, and we're getting a little bit of a late start tonight, but we're still here. And I am here with Aaron DeMott. Aaron, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Aaron DeMott. I write sci-fi. I don't know what else we want me to say, but, you know, there's that.
That works. And we've been internet friends and have met a couple times in real life through the Realm Makers and a couple other internet communities.
Mm-hmm.
What is your elf's name? I will try to find your elf.
Yeah. Miriduni. Miriduni. And I think, if I'm reading the map right, I'm in Silundum? Maybe?
Yeah.
I could be reading the wrong. I could be very well be reading the map wrong though.
Elves start in Celadum, so that makes sense.
Overall, it's a fun game, but the in-game map kinda sucks.
So I'm all the way up in Thorn's Hall. I wonder if you're not even close to me.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're in Celandum, so they're down there. For some
reason, I'm down by the... Yeah, I'm down by the docks.
Oh no, how will I find you?
I'm just going to stand down here at the docks. In between these two fishermen.
I'm all the way up at the top of the map. This is very bad.
Yeah.
We should have planned this out better.
Yeah, probably.
Alright, so, yeah.
I'm currently in pursuit of a cat.
I would, that's an honorable goal.
I don't know if you can pet the cats in this game or not, though.
You can do a pet emote, but there's not like a animation to go with it, really. It just says you pet the cat.
It's one of the fun things about Hogwarts Legacy. There's a pet emote, and you yeah, there is an emote that shows you petting the cat in that game.
I'm heading up to Thorn's Gate. Go over to the... Do you see the horsey guy on your map?
Yeah. I was just over there a second ago.
My guess is you don't have any horsey paths yet, since you just started.
No, I don't have any horse paths. I have a horse, though.
Oh, cool, a horse.
I am now at the stable master down here.
Actually, what you should have done... I'm just going to try to run it.
Okay. I'm assuming you're going to be coming from up that way then, maybe?
Yeah, I'm at the top. Hold on. I think if I do the... I've got a better idea. I think the problem is that this character's not done with the tutorial, which I totally forgot to do, so that's probably my bad.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. That's why it's not letting me get out.
That would do it. Well, I could try and come find you, but if you're still in tutorial land, it...
Well, I said skip tutorial when I made this character, and I thought it would let me do that, but apparently it doesn't skip as much as I hoped it would. I was like, this is not...
You're up in Thorn's Gate. Will it let me go there? See, there's a horse there. It doesn't appear to letting me swift travel there, though.
Yeah. You need to earn the swift travel, unfortunately, in this game.
Oh, it's a long journey up to Thorin's Gate from up there, isn't it?
I'm just going to try to rush the tutorial. In the meantime, you just put out a book pretty recently, didn't you?
I did.
So
I put out the, I can talk today. See, my problem is I'm trying to ride a horse and talk at the same time. It's not going well.
Go ahead and just linger, and I will do my best to get to you. I think that'll be the easiest. Because I'm worried it's going to lock me out of getting to you anyway, because we might be zoned or whatever.
Ah, yeah.
I have come to offer my service to this party of elves.
Anyway, I did just release Threat from the Past, which is a sequel to a new threat in my Psygens and Space Cat series.
Though we came for different purposes.
And that's about a
my father is great.
bunch of tiger-sized aliens that look like cats.
Do not often
Everybody
stray
likes
from the
cat
mark.
aliens.
How can I be of service?
Everybody does, yes.
May Gavanen.
May Gavonen, what do you make of this riddle?
I'm just running around talking to elves.
Talk to all the elves.
Yes, they have impart their wisdom on it. So this is the sequel to the book that you had out. That's been a little bit. When did that one come out?
Oh, let's see. A new threat first came out, I think, in 2015, I believe. Very first. And actually, I wrote Threat from the Past from a couple of months after it came out during NaNoWriMo. And I wasn't really happy with it, so I kind of let it percolate in the back of my mind while I wrote a couple other books. I thought, I should probably finish that one. So I finally got around and cleaned it up and finished it.
Alright. Hold on. There it is. 100 trainer. Nice.
Sweet-eyed Malon, will you stay a moment?
I accidentally dropped my number. Wait, no, not yet.
I have to shoot this training dummy now.
I should have had you play Splitor with me.
So I had to...
I don't know if you have that one or not, though. But,
I do not know.
what's a Star Wars MMO?
Yeah, Matt used to play that.
Because on that one, I've got characters in every class and pretty much high level I can go anywhere with. So I think right now I've got 5 books and stories in 3 anthologies out.
You are in quite a few
One of-
anthologies, yeah.
One of which is the Dosophiles 2.
Yes. And that also involves cats.
It does. There's cats in a lot of my
Sweet-eyed
stories.
Malon.
It's almost like you like cats or something.
Something like that. Yeah, it's kind of weird, huh?
Greetings to you.
Somebody's attacking me.
No, don't die.
I'm trying to run away from him.
I feel like my character is bugged or something. It's not letting me finish the tutorial quests.
That's weird. Hate when that happens.
Yeah, and I haven't played a hunter before, so that could be on me.
Oh, yeah.
But it's telling me I need to use focus to use penetrating shot, which is the quiz or the.
Oh, yeah. I had to do that too. What you have to do is you have to use some of the other abilities to build up focus before, and then you have to have enough focus to use the penetrating shot.
Yeah, I've only got
And I know
one
that because this
building.
character is a hunter, so
Yeah, I've only got one other building quick shot, and it's not building up focus.
yeah, it's kind of annoying. It'll do it eventually, but it takes some time. And
The Korean force?
whatnot.
I don't know. I might be stuck here forever. I'm half wanting to go and make a river hobbit real quick because I know how to get through their start zone in like 5 seconds.
Well, I'm halfway to Thorin's Gate again, so.
I'm just
Say
worried
if
about-
it'll let us meet up then.
Yeah, that's the problem. If it's not going to let me finish this tutorial, then it's not going to let me. That's going to be the dumbest stream ever. Well, lesson learned, if you make an elf, because last time I made a river hobbit and I just got through the tutorial in like 2 minutes, and this time I made an elf so we'd be in the same place.
Ah.
Yay, I finally got enough focus to hit the thing. It took forever.
Yay!
Hail,
Yeah, it
friend,
takes a
and
while
well
for it
met.
to build up, and it kind of stuck me on that for a while too. I'm like, well, why isn't it doing that? And then it's like, oh, that's what it's wanting me to do finally.
And if you've never played a hunter, because I like spellcasters, and I'm almost always playing a spellcaster.
You have a true.
I usually am too, but even my second favorite's Ranger. And it's like, yeah, I'll try that.
I have to go find another elf. It's just like running around finding elves. So what are the anthologies that you currently have stories published in?
Well, one of them's the Dosophiles too, and then the writing group I'm part of released an anthology last year, and that one is called "Holding Out for a Healer."
I've seen that one. That
It's
one was
about-
cool.
It is. It's a bunch of stories about male healers healing and
I do not think I
whatnot.
have
And
a-
then we just this year, like just a week or two ago, released another anthology called Little Shops of Wonders. And that's about cozy shops of all sorts.
I need to pick that one up. I've been kind of like looking for cozy stuff, but I don't know. It's I want it cozy but good, and it's hard. It's a hard balance.
Sometimes it is, yeah, because sometimes it's the
Sometimes
Well,
cozy means
I don't know.
cartoons for adults, and I want mine to have a little bit like I want it to
Yeah.
feel a little realistic while also being cozy. You can have both.
yeah. Well, this one's really good. My story in that anthology is about a bed and breakfast in space.
Ah, nice.
time?
I'm trying to come up with good space fun for breakfast foods, but I'm totally failing.
Oh, there's got to be at least one, but
I thought about the space bar.
and I was gonna do a second story for that anthology about a magic shop, but I didn't have enough time to finish it, so
Yeah.
just the one story in that anthology then. So
That's enough, I think. You can do another one later for the next anthology.
yep. We're trying to crank out, our reading group's trying to crank out an anthology a year at least, so
And I take the hits before I die.
So,
But it doesn't work when I do it back.
for those ones, do you guys choose a theme as a group, or do you?
Yep.
Yep.
yeah, we choose a theme as a group and write it on that theme. So like I said, this year's theme was little cozy shops. Last year's theme was male healers that actually heal. And
I'm meant to die. And then you're meant to do it.
They are definitely rarer. I don't find a ton of healing characters because it gets to be so angsty for me because like they have to save everybody.
well, that's one thing we wanted to do is subvert some of the tropes about healers, because so often you see a healer, they're a secondary character, not a main character. They're usually female. They'll usually use just background stuff, and it's like, well, let's see if we can do some more fun things with these characters.
So, did you have a twist on your healer character?
Yeah, my healer character in that one is a little bit eccentric, and part of it is due to his teacher and how he taught him how to be a healer. And he uses healing in all sorts of different ways other than just some of the stereotypical ones. Like he actually uses some of it offensively.
So he
there's that.
heals. He heals and
Well, look.
kills.
Well, for example, there's a heal in that story. There's a healing ability called Scalpel, which is fairly obvious to you how you could use that medically, but it's also a really sharp blade. So
Yep, it definitely works.
it's like in a pinch, you can use it kind of in ways that it wasn't really intended for.
You could have like a healer who could like manipulate the body, which could go bad or good in either way.
Yep.
I have a character who's kind of like that. She can redistribute life force. She can take it or she can give it. So
Oh, that's neat.
She's very very angsty though, because at first she only learns the taking part, and she just thinks she's a killing machine. So she makes her angsty.
Yeah. That would do it a little bit, yeah.
I will say, I feel like you have. I haven't read all of your stuff, but some of the stuff I've read, it tends like I think you tend to add in a lot of. There's romance in some of your stories. Am I correct?
Almost all of them, yeah.
Yeah.
There's at least a romance to be bought in almost all of them.
And the stereotype is that guys don't write romance. So has that been something you found difficult, or is it something that you wish more guys would do?
That's what you play too.
It's kind of the stereotype, but then there's like, for example, Davis Bunn, the known male romance writer, and there's kind of a handful of them. And I like I said, I like putting in kind of as a B plot as. So instead of just fight, there's some actual feelings and relationships, and more to the story than just the stereotypical.
Yeah, I like that too. And I get bored about fights a lot. I'm the reader who will actually skip over the sword fight sometimes because it's like I just care who gets stabbed. Take me right to the part.
Yeah. Yep. I like having a mix. Oh, I read which one of it? Dave Farland's writing book. So I'm trying to remember which one it was now, but he talks about character arc, and not just character arcs, but story arcs, and you have to have story tension arcs too. He says a lot of the stories, and you read a lot of the modern ones, the tension just keeps going up and up and up and up and up, and it gets more with no release. This is what you got to do to make that less stressful for the reader. Is you got to build tension and then release it a little bit, not all the way, but a little bit, and then back up, and you kind of have waves in your story tension.
Yeah, I like that too, and I find it if I get overwhelmed if it's just tension over time. Then I also lose interest, and I think you get numb to it. Like if people are always in danger, then it's just always turned up to 11, and 11 becomes the new 1.
Yep. Hey, I found a mailbox.
Yay! Did you get anything good?
I don't know. Hang on a minute. Letter from Dwellin or something like that. Heard you are back in the area. Letter, blah, blah, blah. It is. Detach item. What is the item that I got? I don't know. I'll have to check my inventory. I also have one from Bingo Bluffin.
Oh, he has kind of a fun little set of side quests you can do.
Apparently, I did that one. All right, just a letter about, if you're interested in learning more, sleeping out in my comfortable hobbit hole just north of the town hall and Mitchell Delving. Okay, so that's a quest invite, then that one is.
Yeah, and you have to run down to Hobbiton for that.
Apparently, I do.
Not Hobbiton, but Mitchell Delving, hopefully, but near Hobbiton.
One of the hobbit ones, anyway. Let's see. Check my inventory. Gift pack. Oh, wow, there's a bunch of stuff in there.
So your story in the Ghost Files was set up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Yep.
Is that a place you spend a lot of time?
I've only been to the UP a couple of times. I haven't ever been actually to the Porcupine Mountain. It's one of the places I've wanted to go, so I wrote about it.
Look what the Dour Hounds have done to this place.
But I haven't ever actually been there. I've been to Quamanon Falls and the bridge a couple of times, and It's kind of like a 4-hour trip by car up there, so I don't get there too often.
Oh yeah. I'm getting better. Like, I've had to drive so often now that 4 hours is starting to seem like, oh, that's an easy one to me.
Yeah, it's not that bad, but you know, it is a bit of a drive, and you got to take some time to plan it out.
Yeah, it's not something you can do on a whim. So where are you now on the map?
I am up in Thorns Hall again.
Are you in
Right
the hall
in the,
itself or in the...
No, right outside it, I believe.
So I'm down by the statue in Farron's
Down by the statue.
Court.
Let me head down to the statue. I bet you we're in different instances or something, though.
It wouldn't surprise me because I'm not seeing anybody in mine, and I feel like I would be seeing other players if this was not instanced.
Well, I don't see anybody in mine either. Well, let me head down actually to the statue.
Maybe this is just a dead server.
Okay, I am here around the statue. Galloping around the statue on a horse, and I still don't see anybody else here either. Right, there's a couple people over there on horses. I don't know if they're NPCs or not, though. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I am here, and there's nobody here. I don't see...
I bet you we're in different instances or something.
Yeah. Let me see if I can add you on my social panel. Can you spell your character name for me?
Yeah, hang on a minute. MIRIDUINI.
This is I must complete the introduction before I can group with you, so that's what's going on.
Okay.
You're also already level 7, and I'm a lowly level 3.
Yeah.
But I like the national park theme in that story because it's not one I see a lot in, for one thing, superhero stories, but also it's just not a very common setting, I think. I mean, there are some, but
Not terribly common, no. But I thought that was kind of the perfect way for an out of the way mystery monster place. Yeah.
It does give it a little bit of a cryptid vibe.
Yep, and particularly if you want a character who's hiding from people, and I don't want to spoil things too much, a national park out in the middle of backbutton nowhere is a perfect place to hide. So.
You should pay your respects to Skogrim.
Here we go. So, what are you working on now that you've got the Saigen book done?
Well, a couple of things. Hang on just a second. Trying to snack on some stuff here while I'm talking too. I don't know if that's a good idea, but
that works.
Probably not. But working on a couple of different things. I got the next Saigen book that I'm working on, tentatively titled "The Stones of Zernok." Yeah, and that's just kind of basically barely started. Also working on book 3 of my Etherno series, and that's also just kind of barely started. And probably the thing I should finish first, though, is I had for my healer story in the healer anthology, I kind of went on and I'm wanting to expand that more into novel length. And I started working on that on Kindle Vella and was releasing it there, and then Amazon closed that down. So now I got to decide if there's somewhere else I want to release that, or just finish off the novel and release it as a novel.
So were you doing?
But I want to work.
Oh, were you doing it kind of as a serialized story then, when you released it on Vella?
Yeah. Yep.
Do you like serialization fiction? I'm trying it for the first time, and it's a very different way to write.
I don't know. I still haven't made up my mind. Because on the one hand, it's a fun way to write because, what with the ADHD and stuff, It's a good motivation. Oh yeah, that's due. I gotta get I gotta get that done. I gotta quit putting that off again. So it's good motivation to write it out. As a reader, though, I'm one of the people who wants to sit down in a book, and if it were at all physically possible, finish the whole entire novel in one sitting, which, sadly, with adult responsibilities and stuff, that's usually not possible, but, well, or at least highly not recommended, you know.
Yeah, I think a lot of readers
You look
don't
up and, oh
think-
crap, it's morning. I was meant to go to bed 6 hours ago or something, you know.
Yeah, that's the ideal. But yeah,
And it's-
and it's pretty common, I think, that people feel that way in my experience.
Yeah. Well, I haven't quite made up my mind about that yet.
So do you have a length in mind for your series? Because you said that you're working on book 3 on 2 of them.
No, I'm one of the people that, well, I'm going to get into a little bit of a rabbit trail.
It will be a busy
But,
day for my
most people, when they think series, they're like, oh, yeah, what that is it's one story spread across multiple books. And, well, that is one way to write a series, but it's not the only way. And I kind of blame Tolkien for that, indirectly. Because he's kind of started it in... People have read Lord of the Rings, and, oh, yeah, Tolkien, that's the right way to write a series, except Tolkien didn't do that. He wrote one story, and his publisher looked at it and went, holy crap, that's long. We can't physically publish that. It's so long. We're going to have to break it into 3 parts. And that's why the Lord of the Rings is the Lord of the Rings trilogy instead of one book. And of course, nowadays, the publishing technology has advanced and gotten cheaper, and you can buy all 3 books in one. But anyway, like I said, rabbit trail. The other way to do a series is more like Anne McCaffrey's Dragon Riders of Pern. I don't know if you've read any of those books or not, but
Yeah, a couple.
and that method of writing a series is we're going to take one particular place or a group of characters and write stories set in that location or that universe or with that amount of characters. And you can have pretty much an infinite books in that series, and you don't really bore your readers with it because each novel is still a self-contained story.
Why do Barkus now?
And you don't get into the Wheel of Time, where you die before you finish your series, and your readers are all, oh no, what happens? How does it end? Because you do actually have a bunch of self-contained stories that way. And also you can jump back and forth between different books because your story is finished that way. And that's kind of the way I prefer to write a series, is that way.
So it could potentially stop at any time or could potentially go on forever.
Exactly.
I like that too. I mean, I've written, sometimes I have a really like tight idea for like a trilogy or a duology, and that's what I write. And then other times, like my superhero stuff is just going to go on forever.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yep. And you can with that because, like I was saying, with your superhero series, yeah, it's set in that same universe, and you can kind of explore different locations and characters and stuff. Is there quick travel in this game, and how do I use it if so?
You have to earn it. Like once you visit,
I probably haven't earned it.
You have to like connect all the horsies between, like go to each horsey in turn at each place and connect the dots like train stops.
Okay.
And once you've gotten waypoints, you can usually travel between them.
Okay. Because I went to a couple of different horses here, and I haven't not given me a way to fast travel, but I might have just missed that.
There we go. Yeah, I'm trying to like.
Because as soon as it kicks you out of the tutorial, it's probably going to kick you back down to zero,
Telling
whatever.
him, yeah. Whoops. Yeah, we kind of got off on a bad start tonight between being late and like everything. I was just like,
Yeah.
And I completely forgot that the elf tutorial was this long. I thought because I thought skip tutorial, it would let me skip tutorial, and that's on my bag because I haven't started a new elf
Apparently
character in
quite a while, apparently.
yeah. I've been playing river hobbits and stuff, and men. The men tutorial goes on forever, so I knew that one. That's why I avoided a man, but like.
Yeah. Apparently the elf one does too. All right, where was the...
If the water of the river mountain springs should be the purest of water.
I'm gonna do something. Here we go. Because like I said, I have a trick.
Uh-oh. Travel to this location for 2 mithril coins. My goodness.
I'm just seeing if it'll let me skip the tutorial on this one if I do this little neat hack.
Uh-oh.
All right. I have a list of topics, and then we got all off, and now I've gotten like stuff. And it's like this is going to be a stream to remember what not to do. I swear my last one went better than this.
Oh well. Oh, between all the technical difficulties and rabbit trails. Oh well. We're still having fun though, right?
Yeah, and we know that people, if they want to read about cats, they can go to you, and they can also like the healers and stuff. I'm trying to think what's a good.
Oh yeah, I haven't talked about my Eternal series much either.
No, you haven't. Tell us about that one.
So if you like anime or anime-inspired things, you might want to read that, because it's pretty much one day I binge watched too much anime and came up with an idea for a story.
And I haven't read that one yet, so
it's kind of a sci-fi superhero romance fantasy adventure.
Awesome.
So that's why I say kind of anime inspired. It's kind of 15 different genres thrown in a blender.
Yeah, that kind of makes me think of anime. So if you had to pick like 3 animes that it's the most like, could you do it?
Oh, that's a good question. 3 animes Eternal is most like.
Not exact matches, but borrows a little bit of tropes from all of them.
Oh, there's some of the tropes from like My Hero Academia. Trying to think some of the there's a lot of space tropes and stuff in it too, and I'm trying to think which space in the anime would best represent that. Probably either maybe Outlaw Star or Crest of the Stars. I mean, not exactly, but similar-ish.
And yeah, I don't think this trick I'm gonna make is gonna work, because it's gonna put me out in Swan Fleet. Never mind.
Oh well.
All right, so assuming that I get out of the tutorials.
Yeah.
What?
Have you are you gonna do you know what the next theme's gonna be for your next year's anthology that you guys are gonna do?
We don't know. We've been bantering a couple ideas around, and we haven't really stuck on one yet. So I don't really want to say anything yet. It's like, because come next year we might decide, something else entirely.
Do you like when you're doing to pick a theme? Is there like, do you ever try to do it to like a market or like to hit like a release of a big movie or something like that, or you just do whatever you want?
Not really. It's pretty much more whatever we want. We're all pretty bad about writing the market anyway. You tend to get a lot more generic stuff doing it than that. We as a group is kind of more of a have more of the attitude of, we don't see much of that, and then I like that. You like that? Yeah, we like that. We don't see any of that. Let's write it.
So trying to find those underserved niches.
Yeah. That's kind of like, for example, the Hillary anthology. One of the members in the writing group was, you know what? You don't see any male healers, and in A stories, they're always a side character, and they never do any healing. So we're all kind of like, let's do something about that then.
And so you did.
Yep. And with the Cozy Shop anthology, that was one of the ones that's like, every single book you see, especially from mainline publishers lately, is, oh, high tension, oh, there's all this angst and drama. It's like, what about this nice, cozy, relaxed, curl up by the fire and just, I want to read something to relax and not get stressed out kind of
So
thing.
you may have accidentally stumbled onto a market there, because that's starting to become more and more popular right now.
It is, yeah. I think a lot of people had the same thought we did. It's like, this is stressful. I want to read something relaxing. I want to read for fun, not for stress. If I want to read for stress, I'll just call up the family and ask what's new.
Yes. So how many stories are in these anthologies usually?
Oh, that's a good question. Hang on just a minute.
I asked you something with numbers. That wasn't fair.
Yeah. Let me just pull out the healer story. Did we bother to put a table of contents in that one? We did, yay. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
My cheat with the Dosif House, since I knew I was going to forget, is I put the number of stories like literally in the description, so I can just look there.
Yeah, there you go. There's like 8 or 9 stories in the Healer anthology, and I think about the same in the Shop's anthology, roughly. I don't have the Shop's one in front of me because it just came out, and I have it right now. I have that on EA Book. I have not gotten the paperback for that one yet because, like I said, it just came out. So.
Do you guys read and critique each other's stories before they go live?
Oh yeah.
That's always fun.
Well, A, that's the kind of thing we want to read, so of course we want to read it before it comes out, and B, yeah, you get a lot better, I want to phrase this, a lot better story if you have somebody better beta read for free.
Yeah, I think sometimes you need somebody to let you know, like, if something doesn't work or,
Mm-hmm.
One example is for like the Dose Files. It's like it wasn't exactly a story issue, but I had one person submit something that there was a certain element that was just way too dark for the anthology. It involved self-harm, and I had to like say, I like this story, but I don't think we can have that in this just based on the other. It'll be just too jarring to have that out of nowhere and all these other more happier stories.
Yeah.
So they took that out. Glad they were not too tied to that one element. I have found Elo here.
Yay. Well, I'm heading back to Celendum. And I'm probably mispronouncing that, but oh well.
I almost intentionally say things wrong in this game because I know I'm going to say them wrong anyway, and it's just easier.
There you go.
Like, I don't say Mickle Daling, but I call it Michael Delving.
There you go. Oh, the weird elf words, yeah. Makes it a lot of fun for lore and immersion, but bear to pronounce if you're
I'm pretty
Native
sure they
language is
say
English. And
the C is always hard too, so it's not Celodim, it's Celodim.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, when I was choosing stories for the Dosophiles, it's like I was looking for ones that were kind of a different spin, and that's one of the reasons yours got in was because it, A, had the different setting, was B, something we hadn't really done before, and it just felt different. And I think that's what the thing is anthologies. You want everything to have like kind of like a theme, and it
But be not the same, yeah.
it can't be exactly the same, but it also can't have something that just stands out as like, well, that was really jarring out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, with our anthologies so far, we haven't had much of an issue with that, but it's all
Well, you're all part of
we
the
don't
same
really, we
writing
don't,
group. So
yeah,
you
we're all
probably
part of
know
the
each
same
other pretty
writing
well.
group, and we don't really haven't really yet invited people outside of the reading group to contribute to them yet. I don't know if that if we have plans to do that or not, but
Yeah, with the Dosophiles, I do an open call, but I don't really expect people I haven't heard of to submit.
yeah,
Because I'm such an like it's not that big a fandom.
yeah.
It is kind of funny to write with other people in the same universe. I kind of make myself the final overseer of what can happen in the universe because it's mine, but like
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
and you have to have that control. I feel like you have to know your own world well enough to be able to say, well, that doesn't fit.
Well, and in the anthology, you got to have kind of one person to guide it together anyway, or it kind of devolves into chaos. And,
So that's a thought. With your stories, like you're writing like a couple projects at once, and there's some time between publication. How do you keep track of stuff? Do you have a story Bible, or you just
poorly.
reread your book a lot?
Poorly, but no.
Oh, okay.
No, I've got a. Excuse me, I got something in my throat here. Give me just a second. All right, there we go. Yeah, I have a wiki set up for each of my story universes. So I've got one set up for the Psygens and Space Cats universe, and one set up for Etherno.
What are you hosting
And-
that through? Or are you just doing?
Self-hosting through. So I have my own web server, and I just kind of host Wikimedia on there.
Yeah,
my own
because
Wikimedia
you
page.
know how to do stuff like that.
Yep, I've been working for a web hosting company for the past 8 years. Well, eight and a half. So yeah, I know how to do all that. Yeah.
See, for me, I've been trying to make a wiki for my superhero stuff, and the best I can offer is a Google Doc with tabs.
I've heard good things about World Anvil too, and that's a little bit more kind of click and just type stuff in. I think I haven't really played around with it much myself, but I've heard good things about it.
It gets recommended to me a lot. I just learning something new, and then like I don't know if there's a pay associated with it. I haven't looked into it because like I'm cheap right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either. Yeah, I've got my own self-hosted wiki. I have a own writing folder, and when I start a project, either in the beginning of the document or usually at the end, I'll put kind of a universe glossary for just stuff I don't need for that book, and sometimes I'll leave it in, like in the Psygens and Space Cats book. I have a glossary in the back of those books, and I'll just clean that up a bit and leave that in. I haven't done that in Thurno, but I've kind of left all that stuff in the wiki.
Sometimes it's helpful, and some readers like that. For me, I was trying to keep everything done by memory for the longest time.
Oh, that can get chaotic, yeah.
But especially with timelines, I eventually started like a Google Sheets of when everybody was born and when different books happened, because it was starting to get a little bit much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you get readers calling in and, hey, so-and-so had green eyes in the last book. Now they've got blue. What's going on? You're like, oops, I need to think up a reason for that now instead of the author's dumb.
So I had one person who was like, she says she couldn't understand how some writers didn't know their characters' birth dates. I'm like, well, if you don't state their birth date, then you don't have to keep track of it.
Yep. Exactly. When was your character born?
Roughly 1999.
See, I set all mine either in the far future or in a completely different space-time universe, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I was doing that with like I used to write more traditional fantasy and steampunk and stuff, and since I did superheroes and it's this world, everything is set like in a real time. I think the first book is set in 2020 because that's when I wrote it, but then I wrote faster than time, so
Yeah. Oh well.
I'm now up to 2037 in the timeline.
Wow.
So I'm trying to have to predict the future here, like small things like what kind of tech will change and stuff, and I'm keeping it pretty subtle because I don't think it's like nobody's counting on me on being that hard science.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is kind of fun to write contemporary for a change because you can throw in all the references and stuff, which are just kind of like it's a little more, it's easier to Easter egg and stuff.
Yep. Well, that and another kind of thing that I appreciate too is coming from like the Star Trek and Star Wars fandom. You know, you've got either memory alpha and memory beta, where you can look up any piece of information from Star Trek lore that you want, and there's similar sites in Star Wars in the Star Wars universe too.
Yeah, and I've had readers.
And it's like, well, if I like that as a fan, I might start some of that as an author, you know.
Yeah, and I have had readers request a wiki for me before, and I'm just like, oh, it's so much work. But everything is so much work.
The thing is, it is a lot of work, but you're also saving yourself some time too, because you can self-reference it at like, oh, crud. What was the name of that one incident in engineering I was just briefly mentioned in book 1? Oh, I can't remember. You can just flip to the wiki and, oh, here's the crew list for first book. And, oh, there you go.
Yeah, that was kind of what...
I might have had to have done that a couple of times.
Because I have a pretty good memory for fake things. Not necessarily for, like, anything that matters, but for my own books, I've got a pretty good memory. That said, I was trying to write a bonus scene that happened between 2 books, and there was this one very minor character who I thought would need to be in it, and I could not find her name anywhere. I could find her, like I couldn't remember where I had written her. She was just like a throwaway, somebody who worked at the camp, and I'm like, can't find it. So now I've got to go through like 20 plus books and try to fix that because I haven't been doing that as I've been going along. So it would have been nicer if I'd started it from the beginning, but of course at the beginning I didn't know I was going to have a 20-book expanded universe.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not
like,
prepare.
I'll just write 1 or 2 books. It'll be fine. And 20 books later, oh boy.
I prepared for 4. I think that when I started writing the superhero series, I was like, okay, well, this is going to be a trilogy. And then I was looking at like, oh no, I need 1 book between this book and this book. Otherwise that won't work. And I'm like, okay, so 4 books. And then it just got out of hand.
Yeah.
It's famous last words.
Uh-oh. I wonder if you can swim in this game. Let's find out.
You
Yay!
can, yes.
I just jumped off the dock, so.
My favorite thing to do in this game is honestly just to ride around and look at scenery. I'm very bad about that because it's a very expansive game. It feels huge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, how do I get out of the water? Okay, it's shallower over here. There we go. Okay.
You can usually just walk out if you find the right spot. I have not yet found a pool that they've made as a trap you can't swim out of.
Yeah. I was swimming around and it's like, okay, I can't... It's like, well, I can't jump back up on the dock here, but I've moved around and found a spot there then, so yeah.
So you also do TTRPGs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like to DM or do you like to just play?
Yes.
Like both?
Yeah, one of the groups that I'm in, we just wrapped it up. Just last Saturday, we wrapped up like was it a 6 or 8 year game in the Star Wars universe?
That's the dream.
Well, kind of a Star Wars universe. It was a lot of fun.
Listen to my words.
And then I'm DMing a game using
You
the
know
Star
me,
Trek
and
Adventure
I know
system
you.
right now too.
You are
So
one
you're
of my
double dipping in
kin.
Star Wars and Star Trek.
One day we will
Yep,
take
and
the
a
ships into the
couple
west.
years ago,
It is
I
not yet
did a game using the
I
what is
will
it?
not long disturb your sleep. I
What do
can
they call
visit
it?
you in dreams for
The
only a
book's right
short
over here. It's
time.
Stargate something or
I
another.
have looked into my mirror and seen much.
Yeah, just Stargate
worries me.
SG-1.
Let
There's
me
a
show you.
Stargate SG-1 rulebook too, so that's a lot of fun too.
So do you have a preference for sci-fi over fantasy, just generally?
Yeah. I mean, I like both, but I like sci-fi a little bit better.
It sounds like you've had you're in some like really good, fandoms there. So yeah, I get that totally.
Yeah.
Like I was a Lord of the Rings girl growing up, so I kind of skew fantasy more than I skew sci-fi. Even though I did watch Voyager, I did watch Star Wars.
What?
Got into Doctor Who a little later.
Yeah, I've kind of been into both. One of my earliest memories for sci-fi is we'd come home after church and turn on Star Trek TOS reruns. And after that was what? It was Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica, and Doctor Who, I believe. All in the same block on Sunday afternoons, way back when in the 80s. And I actually remember watching the Star Trek TNG premiere when it premiered on TV. At a channel that we barely got in, so it was like 80% fuzz.
I was that way.
So that was fun.
You are
We
near to
lived
wakefulness.
in a very
The
rural
last
area.
tendrils of
So when we
sleep
grew
will
up,
soon release
we
you.
didn't have TV,
You
but it
ask
wasn't because
why
like
I wanted
people
to
just
show you
assume it was
things.
just some sort of religious
It is
reason.
for
No, it was
one
because
reason.
my
Like,
parents were
doesn't come
too
in.
my parents were too cheap to buy a satellite, and you could get one fuzzy channel if you put up the huge rabbit ear antennas.
Well, we
I
live
see
out in the
you
middle of
in my
nowhere,
mirror.
but it's
Not
actually
once or twice.
for TV
often.
signal. It's kind of
Whether you
between.
desire it or not.
There's a
Your
station.
fate is
There's a couple of
tied to that
stations
of
like
Middle
45
Earth.
minutes south of us, a couple of stations 45 minutes east, and one or two stations 45 minutes west.
Do not
And I
forget
have a
my
two-story
words when
house,
you
so we had the big antenna, and by big I
The free
mean
peoples of
3 to
Middle
4
Earth will
foot
have
long
need of you.
antenna
You
up on the
must
roof,
not.
and we had that hooked up to a rotor, so you can rotate it around to point to whatever channel. So we got in, I don't know, in total about a dozen channels or so to more or less effect.
And then the weather comes and it knocks you out.
Or a semi truck goes down the road and fuzz until the truck's passed.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who didn't grow up with those living in the country, or even not in the country, just like 10 miles out from town sort of problems. It's like, yeah. I got into that with friends. It's like where we live in West Virginia now is very rural, and somebody came out to visit, like, you didn't tell me there was no cell phone reception. I'm like, well, I told you we lived out in the middle of nowhere. It's like, well, because in Oregon, middle of nowhere means no cell phone reception, and it does out here in a lot of West Virginia, but apparently it doesn't in other states.
Yeah, it used to mean that here. It's been getting better lately, and I'm kind of in a decent area because we're surrounded by cornfields for miles and miles and miles on every side, but we're right on a major state highway too. So I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere, but it's not in the middle of nowhere. So they kind of put up cell signals to cover the major highways. By major highway, I mean it's still a 2-lane road, but
I think my cinematic to get out of the tutorial is bugged.
Ah.
I'll try logging back out and logging in. It's been my night.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
That's what I'm doing now. No, it is a different experience, I think, though, growing up rural as opposed to like in suburbs or
Well, and to this day, I still haven't seen in every episode of Star Trek Voyager, because that was on a channel. when that first came out, that was on a channel that only sometimes came in. And when it did come in, it was again 80 to 90% fuzz. And now of course you can stream it all and everything. And actually, I have it all on DVD. I just haven't got around to watching it because we got TOS, DS9, and TNG, and or other stuff. And
Yeah, I
been
watched.
watching a lot of British comedies lately too.
I had a friend who was literally VHS taping Voyager episodes for me so we could watch them every week. And that's how I got into them. And then when I got married and we had Netflix, which at the time still came by the mail,
Yeah.
we did it that way.
When I was a little kid, the internet came by mail.
It did.
It did. And the kids these days probably won't believe you when you tell them that, but it did.
It does sound kind of crazy now that you think about it.
Oh, it does sound kind of crazy, yeah.
No, it's that was definitely a formative experience. Not knowing a lot of stuff just because we couldn't get the TV and the things that our friends were getting.
Well, yeah, and like I said, we live on a state highway here, but you can't get cable. And to this day, we can't get cable, even though there's a main cable trunk line running by, let's get within 100 yards of the house, but we can't get cable because the nearest junction box is, like 10 miles away. It's like, okay, whatever.
So we have Starlink out here, which is the satellite internet, and they sent us, for being early customers, their mobile one. So basically, we now have like a portable internet cube we can take with us places.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, we're very excited to use that for the first time. I'm probably oversimplifying it, but that's basically what it is. It's like portable internet. You just have to hook up to the car and make sure it has power.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, I actually have fiber out here now. And it was, for the longest time, the only option was dial-up. And these were some of the original phone lines that were put in. You pick up the phone and you hear over the dial tone.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, you got, like 14 kbps was on a good day. And then the phone companies, oh yeah, we have, you can get DSL now. Well, let's see. And you can only get DSL if you're within X many miles of the nearest phone exchange, and we're like right at the limit. And the crappy phone lines on the top of it, it's like, it probably isn't going to be much better. So for the longest time, we were on just wireless internet. And then our ISP got some kind of either grant or investment in it or something. They started running fiber lines between the tower, and they were bright enough to, hey, we'll run all these fiber lines between the towers. Let's just split off to people's houses too. So, long story short, we got fiber, even though we're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's nice. We are one of those people. It's like that's one thing Matt takes into account whenever we were looking on where to move. Well, where can we get internet fast enough for me to do my gaming?
Dead is
Yep.
dead, in my opinion. What is this
There's
nonsense?
priorities. We're living currently in a house that
Will you stay
is
and speak with me a moment?
halfway torn up for remodels just because it needs it. But we have internet out of it.
That is so weird.
The cinematic kept going to a black screen and then just leaving or dying on me, so I kept exiting and entering it and starting it. But we've already been going for about 58 minutes, and I said this was going to be an hour, so maybe this is a nice sign it's time to quit.
Oh well.
I will say tonight was entertaining in a different sort of way than I meant it to be.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well, thank you for joining me here. I put links to Aaron's stuff in the comments, so you can find his books and stories there if you want to check it out. And I've still got a link to my Kickstarter, which is going until the 30th in there too. So if anybody does watch this, I apologize. But thank you if you do.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in if you did.
All right, I'm stopping the stream.